You are listening to a Nerd Room podcast production. We, the Nerd. Bunch of nerds.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Room. We talk all things Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and beyond. This is episode number 303. We're discussing the most anticipated nerd for 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm Carlos.
Gentlemen, welcome to 2022. Happy New Year's to all of the listeners out there. We hope that you had a safe, healthy, and enjoyable holiday season as we now roll into 2022. We spent last week looking back at 21. Now that's in the rear view mirror. Let's kick it off and run straight into 2022. And I don't know if we understand the sheer scope and volume of what's coming at us, guys. It is going to be an unbelievable year, nerd. We sat only 1 year ago and was questioning what was going to happen in 2021. Were we even get any movies? Were we going to get TV shows? What was going to be nerd in that year? And it turned out to be quite an unbelievable year. But now we have another monumental year in front of us with 2022. Look, DC is putting their largest single year slate ever to film this year with 4 individual properties hitting the big screen, including the Batman, Black Adam, Flash, and Aquaman 2. They're also dropping 1 to 2 HBO Max shows, one of which we're going to get to see here in about a week's time. We're going to see 5 Marvel properties, 2 of those from Sony, with the ever-delayed Morbius coming out at some point, and Spider-Verse Part 1. MCU is delivering us 3 properties, where we'll be zipping back to familiar franchises and characters with Doctor Strange, Thor, Love and Thunder, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. They're also expanding their Disney Plus slate of storytelling with Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, Moon Knight, and maybe even Secret Invasion. Star Wars, although missing out on the big screen this year, we're going to get 3 shows, an Obi-Wan Andor, Mando, and possibly Bad Batch Season 2. We've got animated films, Sonic 2, DC Superhero Pets Lightyear, and also the return to some of the biggest franchises in history with Jurassic World, Avatar, and also some Tom Cruise vehicles in Mission Impossible 7 and Top Gun. So here it is, guys. Here is 2022, and that's not even mentioning the comics and the collecting that's going to happen. And we're here today to actually talk about all of that. We're going to be running down our most anticipated TV shows, our most anticipated films, as well as kicking back and doing our nerdier resolutions, something that we like to do here in the Nerd Room every single year to help pave our path for what we're going to be doing in Nerd in 2022. So, gentlemen, I know that was a long intro, and you're sitting there very much waiting to get into this, but how are you guys doing? How's New Year's? Carlos, my man, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. New Year's was good. Just a low-key celebration with the family and some Terramana.
Nice.
Thanks to my boy Troy the Boy and The Rock. So, yeah, that's how you bring in that New Year's. So, it is what it is, but I'm happy 2022 is here, the year of the bat.
Yes, indeed. The year of the Spider-Man, as Troy so nicely put it last year, transitioning into the year of the bat. Troy, man, New Year's 2022, How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. But you know, it's a family tradition of ours. Every Friday, every Saturday, we get together and we do some hardcore Mario Party on the Switch. We go hard, we go ham. And I'm a reigning champ. I get my wins every week. And for the New Year's, I'm like, I'm going to keep that going. And I failed. My wife took the championship. So I'm starting the new year as a loser in Mario Party. But it's all good. I'm going to come back at it next week and get that going. But man, is a tough defeat. But that's all we did. We just kept it simple, kept it light. The kids, the family, we all just did some Mario Party and brought in the new year. I didn't even make it till 12. I think I passed out by 11:30 in my sorrows there. But it's all good, man. I'm back. I'm good. And I'm glad everybody made it to 2022. Here we are. Here we are. I'm excited, man. It's going to be a good year for the MCU, for Sony, for Batman. Like, I'm stoked, man, just for the films alone. Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Not only did the 3 of us make it to 2022, but so did the theater industry, which is a big plus. Cinema is alive, and cinema is going to deliver, I think, in 2022. I, like you guys, had a very low-key, quiet New Year's that was carried over from the night before. I had quite a few brews and all that over over a 2-day span. So it was nice. It was nice to ring in the new year and wake up with a headache on January 1st, which means that I had fun in 2021, I think. So,
Oh, I know, man. January 2nd, I was like Boba Fett, man, on that detox.
man, I need a back to tank for sure. Could have used that. A lot of flashbacks, though. If I was sitting in there thinking about 2021 and 2020, a lot of traumatic moments to think about. So let's get into it, guys. I know there's a lot of things that we haven't touched on, we haven't talked about in a few weeks because we like to do these wrap-up shows and kickoffs for 2022. We got Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett dropped its first episode. I actually did a live stream with the Vigilante Boys, so head over to their YouTube channel and you can check out my first thoughts there. But we will get the guys' first thoughts here next week. We've also got a new Batman trailer, a Multiverse of Madness trailer that we haven't touched on. And so we're going to get to all that when we get back to our regular scheduled programming next week. But this week, we got to look far into the future here and see what is on tap for us. What are we excited about in 2022? And we're going to start with TV shows. With the streaming service, with that medium really finding its footing in 2021, 2022 it looks to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest year for streaming TV shows. And then we've also got some awesome shows that are landing on the network stations as well, including Superman and Lois, of course. But we're going to count down our top 5 here, most anticipated TV shows for 2022. And we're going to kick it off with you, Troy. We're going to go 5 up or whatever order you got them in. What doesn't matter, man. But what is your 5th most anticipated TV property for 2022?
Oh, man, this one's been on my list for a minute because it keeps getting pushed back. I just don't know if they ever began writing once season 4 or 3 ended. I think season 3. Anyways, I'm going to Ozark. Jason Bateman's Ozark. This is I love this show. From season 1, I've been hooked. I really think season 3 just amped it up times a million. It's a great cast. And in some ways, it's very reminiscent of a Breaking Bad, but a better setting, in my opinion, and a more likable cast, in my opinion, as well. So, yeah, I'm going with Ozark. I think Jason Bateman is actually very underrated. I know a lot of people kind of see him as the funny man, but I feel like when he plays the straight man, it's great. It's great stuff. So, Ozark all day for me. I believe it's the final season. I think it's season
4.
Yeah. So this is the final season.
And you know what? I have it on my list too. It's a little higher, but I'll just piggyback on what you said. And yeah, Ozark is that it made the top 5 says something as to how compelling this show is. And as much of a Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Vince Gilliam honk as I am, there's just something about Ozark and the variety that it lends itself to compared to that show. Just with the family and how much time we get to spend with all of them, and that they all have different aspects as to the criminal world that they're involved in. I think that's where you get a bit more variety than you did with the other shows, which are insanely good in their own right. But yeah, I can't wait for Ozark season 4, and I'm glad that they're capping it at 4 seasons, despite how successful it's been and how popular it is. That's the way to do it. My hat goes off to any of those showrunners and studios that, despite having hit properties, they're just nope, this is our story, and this is where we need to cap it off with a meaningful ending. So yeah, cannot wait for this one. I think it's pretty quick. I want to say it's first quarter of this year, but
I think so.
Yeah, man. Netflix bringing the heat on my list for sure. This is the first of a couple entries for them. So
awesome. Love to hear a little divergent there. And Ozark's not a show I've ever watched, but I've heard very, very big praise from a lot of people on, especially Bateman, like you're saying, Troy, what he's been able to do and kind of twist his normal sort of pigeonhole into something quite a bit different.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Carlos, let's hear number 5 on your list. You got a Netflix or you got something a little different there?
You know what? I will go with my girl Ava gave me some love on the Twitterverse today, so I'm gonna go with Naomi as my number 5, seeing as we hit the Ozark already. But man, just listening to her talk about her thought process and how she's approaching this show, and the character just has so much energy to her on the comic book page, and you can really see that with the young lady that they've cast in the title role. And I think it's going to be something special. And you look at those Ava DuVernay shows, stuff like Queen Sugar, and she just brings something special to it. And you have an Academy Award winning director who's doing not 1 but 2 DC shows for the CW/HBO Max. Like that's huge, and this lady doesn't fail at anything. Well, she might have had a wrinkle in time, but aside from that, like she and that's I always give hats off to people who take an L once in a while because
Yep.
they come back better and stronger. And I think canceling directors when they have a bad out is the dumbest thing ever because
Yeah, it's silly.
yeah, they learn and they're gonna come back bigger, badder the next time around. So yeah, man, like I think Naomi is gonna be something pretty special and bring a whole new set of eyes to that character and the wider DC universe. Like even Ava in the interview that I watched with her today was talking about how Superman is a big focus in this show, and if we get my boy Tyler Hoechlin in there, that'd be pretty cool. But
That's what I was gonna ask you, man. Is it connected to the CW or what? Because we see that little, flyby of Soups.
yeah, I think the new shows are pretty separate. Like even Stargirl, like you watch that show and it's decidedly not CW, even though it does like the shared broadcast thing with the HBO Max. So yeah, like CW has a reputation and it's rightfully earned. Like I suffered through many hours of their programming, but that Flash Arrowverse stuff is in one corner, and then you have like the new shows with Supergirl, Superman and Lois, and now hopefully Naomi bringing the heat and bringing something new and different and a bit or higher quality because it's going to be the shared production between them and HBO Max.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, man.
Are all these shows now like Superman and Lois and Naomi and all that? Are they still the 24 episodes, or are they cut back down to like 12 or whatever?
I think Naomi is 11 or 12,
Yeah.
and Superman and Lois is 15 for season 2.
I think that's been a big
nice
difference
spot.
maker for CW in the last couple of years is that, shaving 10 to 12 episodes off your season gives you a lot more room to actually work. Although you have all the space, but you're stretching so much out and you end up with a bunch of bottle episodes and freak of the week type thing and all that. And I think that's cutting those. That's the best thing TV's done in the last couple of years is go between that 6 and 10 episodes. It's made all the difference in storytelling, I think.
Oh,
and it's
totally.
huge, and it's especially for word of mouth reasons. Like I know if somebody tells me about a show, and first thing I ask them how many episodes, and if they tell me about 10, 12, good, I'm there. If they tell me like 22, I'm not doing it. So I feel like it's really good for these kinds of shows, especially like Superman and Lois. Like I've told a lot of people about that show, and they ask me, I'm like, yo, man, 10, 12 episodes are like awesome, and they've all come back with positive feedback, just because it's just a little bit easier to digest in that time frame.
Yeah, and you don't have so much wasted time, right? Where I'd say like 10 of those episodes are filler episodes, right? That are getting you towards an eventual goal, but you're just stretching it out and you get bored, right? And that's where the suffering through, I think, comes into it.
Oh, totally. Well, you watch a show like The Flash, and The Flash, it definitely, you can see where the padding is and just the nonsense that you don't care about. And I don't know, like for me, with so much good TV out there, I almost become resentful to those shows.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I hate you, Grant Gustin. Wasting my time.
Well, you think going back in the day when you're watching Flash and Arrow, that's 40 plus episodes a season, if not more, closer to 50. You're watching, like that's a lot of TV time. And yeah, we are watching 45 minutes, an hour of some shows and all that, but I think in that single sitting, you're able to consume that. But if you're doing it week on, week out, like that's half of a year worth of TV watching.
I know, man. Like 48 episodes, that's a lot of Stephen Amell wincing and Grant Gustin crying.
All right. Well, let's move on from that. Now that we've established where our mindset is on TV, I think that's an important piece to lay the foundation here. But I'm going back to Star Wars. Yes, we've got the Book of Boba Fett running right now. A little bit of a slow start. Looking forward to seeing what they do here. But we spent a lot of time in this Mandalorian era. I want to go back. I got to get this Andor is what I want to see what this is all about. I loved Rogue One. I like the character. I'm interested to see where they take this piece of the storytelling in Star Wars, going back in time to a familiar, a New Hope-ish Rogue One era, maybe a little bit before that. What are they going to do with the universe there? This has me quite intrigued, and I'm really excited to see Star Wars telling stories again on Disney Plus. And this is where their platform is for this year. And there's a few other on my list here, but Star Wars, given we haven't seen a whole bunch, I'm excited for them to explore different eras again. I think we've had a long enough break that it's time to revisit some of this stuff and see how it lands. How is Star Wars going to tell stories in 2022? So Andor sits at the number 5 position on my list.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see Rick start
Yeah.
his own show. No, but you know what?
Finally.
Finally, I go back to, because I don't think Rogue One the movie covered it, but Rogue One the novelization talks a little bit more. I think of Cassian's separatist
Yeah.
upbringings, and I think
Yeah.
that'll be really cool if we can kind of tie in some of those flashbacks of him and what he was like growing up on that side of I guess the Republic era, and then obviously now working for the Rebels, right? So I really want to see them kind of dive into that, and I think what Star Wars has done such a great job of doing with these TV series is really diving into like the more of the lore of Star Wars, because that's what we all like, whether it's the Jedi lore, the Sith, or the Rebels, or the Imperials, right? You get that stuff. So I'm excited. And it's Daniel. It's how do you pronounce his name again? Sorry, Rick. DeLuga.
DeLuna.
DeLuna. Yeah. So I can't wait to see him kind of carry that on. I think that's going to be something special. I haven't really been the biggest for this show, but I'm definitely going to watch it, and I think I'm going to be in for a surprise. Yeah.
I think it's the surprise aspect that has me excited. Is that I really don't know where they can take this, but I think it's going to be cool how potentially they can twist the story around to make it compelling and interesting. So, man, Star Wars is back, and I'm here for it. So, Troy, man, what's next for you?
What do I got here? I got The Boys. Please tell me it's coming this season. I hope it is. Like, I really hope. I think it is. It has to, right? But
it's coming up on a year since we last saw it, right?
Well, and they had that Disney Plus Day thing, didn't they? So
yes, where they kind of
it must be coming out in 2022.
Plus,
it has to. It
Yeah.
has to. Well, because they had the rumors, and I think it's still going on, but there was meant to be a spin-off series as well, and it's basically more of like the school of the boys or the heroes, I guess. But I'm all about the boys themselves, and I think it's such a cool cast. And I think this time around we're getting somebody that kind of represents more of like a Captain America, I believe, this time around on the team.
Yeah, you're getting the soldier.
The Soldier Boy, I think he's called. Right?
Yeah, Soldier Boy. Jensen Ackles is playing him. Yeah.
It's going to be great. I mean, anybody out there that hasn't seen that show, give it a try. It's a blast, especially if you might be someone that's kind of had it up to here with like the superhero fatigue. I'm not quite there myself, but I feel like if you want something different, The Boys is a great avenue to go down. And once again, the cast is spectacular. Homelander is such a cool take on what a Superman could be, and a government funding heroes in this kind of way is something very intriguing in my opinion. So you got to give it up for The Boys season 3. I hope it's this year.
Oh, it has to. Well, I think it's over a year, right? Because I think The Boys season 2 is actually like fall of 2020.
Yeah,
it was a while ago because I watched season 1 in the early days of the pandemic. Or whatever it was. And I haven't yet to watch season 2, but that's given me a bit of motivation now. You're talking about that and reminding me that it's there, and I can go back and finish up season 2 and get ready for season 3. I like that.
Their Disney Plus Day promo was the best thing on Disney Plus.
It sticks out in my head as like the most significant thing because you kept saying it on that day, and I was like, it's all I remember from. You could add, I don't know what else happened on Disney Plus Day, but I know that the boys put out a sweet.
Oh yeah, they took
promo.
the piss out of Disney that day. It was funny. It was funny, that one.
Yeah, so I just looked up. No announced date yet, but it's expected to be in 2022.
Awesome.
So, all right, Carlos, what do you bring to the table?
Man, I gotta go with The Witcher Blood Origin, the prequel series. And
it's a prequel.
It's a prequel series to everything, so it's gonna be touching on things that the books kind of played with a little bit, but not really. And it's gonna be set thousands of years and before Geralt of Rivia and all the things that we know from the books and from the games, and basically be a telling of the origin of how Witchers came to be, probably a bit more in-depth look at the conjunction of the spheres. And they've got a hell of a cast, and even some of the castings that I've seen and some of the names of some of the elder elves and things of that nature, I think it'll be cool to see what the Netflix showrunners take on that stuff is. And I'll also be interested to see what they can do with their hands unencumbered, because they do take a lot of heat for anytime they make changes to the way storylines go or the characters are portrayed from how people know them from the games, and a little bit less so from their portrayal in the book. I think they've done a great job, because I appreciate that when you're adapting something for a live action TV media, you can't do exactly what was going through when you're playing the video game or when you're reading a 700-page novel type of thing. But I don't know, people aren't accepting of that as much, but I think they got some cool things here, and I think it'll make the actual Witcher series a little more digestible, because I know some of the changes that they've made there haven't sat well with a few of the hardcore fans. So I think now that they're like, yeah, there's the Witcher books, there's the Witcher games, and now there's the Witcher Netflix, and each of them is truly their own thing. Because I think people forget that the Witcher games aren't technically canon for the books, although they're the best thing that they've ever done with those characters. But that's neither here nor there.
Is this one the animated one? Because I remember they were doing an animated series, or did that already come out?
That came out already, so that was
okay.
Like, you can watch that now. But that's, man, you're an anime guy. That thing is awesome, and that's another one that you need no. It's a prequel to everything as well.
Oh, wicked.
So you need no pre-existing knowledge of the books, games, even the show. You can have never watched a minute of the TV shows, and basically it's the guy who's Geralt's mentor eventually.
His Obi-Wan.
Totally.
Nice.
It's his story kind of thing, from
nice.
filling you in on what the Witchers are all about and the kind of fall of the Witchers in the eyes of the humans in the continent. So
awesome. Well, we all love a good prequel. We know that.
Yeah, man.
So, and actually, you saying that and your perpetual excitement for the Witcher series has got me thinking that I think I'm going to try the first episode tonight when we're done recording.
Wicked.
Of the Netflix
oh yeah,
show,
man. Yeah,
live action. Get into it. Just I'm looking for something a little different. I burned my way through Cobra Kai in like a day and a half. So it's my hungover cure or hangover cure.
Yeah. Oh, and anybody coming into the Witcher show, like, I can't recommend it enough. And the only thing I'll say is just the timeline. It's a non-linear timeline. So when you're watching it, and if you're trying to piece it together, it's like Yennefer's story happens first, Geralt's happens in the middle, and Ciri's story happens kind of in real time as you're watching the show. And you put your mind to that, and the whole thing will be wonderful. So
Awesome. Can't wait. And I'm, of course, guys, I'm gonna steal the spotlight here for a second, and I'm gonna take us to Disney Plus. We all knew we were gonna land here for a little bit of time, and I'm gonna put out there Miss Marvel. It's actually a show I am quite excited about. Seeing Kamala Khan come to screen. This is gonna be, I'm not sure what lands first, this or She-Hulk or Moon Knight, and they're all kind of in the same arena for me as far as anticipation goes, because I have very little knowledge of each of the characters, and I'm excited that we're going to see something different and a character we don't really know. We're not having any existing Avengers or people that we're familiar with, like a Loki or a Wanda or something. This is new storytelling, new characters, and new avenues they're going to pave for themselves here. And so I'm excited about all three of those shows, but more particularly Miss Marvel. And one of the reasons I'm excited about that is that I'm going to try to watch it with my oldest. She has this real tendency, as soon as she sees a female in a role, especially a superhero role or a leading role, she immediately gets attached to it and says, oh, I want to watch this. And even I was watching Cobra Kai the other day, and the two girls were having their battle, and she got really intrigued by it, wanted me to explain who was good, who was bad, and why they're fighting and all this. And so that's one thing that's got me excited too, is that this could be a good avenue in for young girls to see superhero and explore that family dynamic that she has, that's ever so important to diversifying the slate of TV shows and films that we're getting put to screen here in through 2022. So Miss Marvel, but kind of really those three shows are all kind of shoulder to shoulder for me there.
Yeah, this one's like high on my anticipation list, but not for myself, but my daughter is a big Kamala Khan honk, and she, like, to the point she dresses her for Halloween once or twice, and the character is great, and I'm almost not interested in all at the superhero-y portions of the character. It's more so her personal life. That's always been the interesting part for me, and the more compelling story bits and I actually read Miss Marvel quite a bit, but yeah, my daughter's like super excited for this one, and just going through Hawkeye with her, it was a bit of a chore for me, but like she was like crazy excited, and it was like always looking for that first window where we had like maybe we can squeeze an hour here to sit down and watch it together, and
Awesome.
just how excited she always was about that one. And so yeah, Miss Marvel coming pretty close to that to Hawkeye finishing off is going to be pretty cool to see her kind of get two of her big pillar characters back to back.
That's wicked. That's wicked. I wish we get a release date for these. I don't know why they hold on to, for all of these streaming service shows, they hold on to the release date for so long. I'm not sure the real point of that. It's not like there's anything like it's with the boys too, right? Like why don't we have a release date for any of this stuff?
I think just because they can, right?
Yeah, I guess, right? Don't have the same sort of hype machine for films and all that. So, all right, Troy, man, I have a feeling you and I have the same one at number one, but what do you got kind of sat in this middle spot here?
Hands down, CW/HBO's Superman and Lois.
Yes, my man.
This show is all kinds of fire to me. This one hit hard. You know, Carlos got me on there, and I think I was like buying the episodes on my Google Play like as soon as they came out immediately, and I was just watching this on my phone, and I do another rewatch on my TV, and then messaging Carlos, being like, "Oh my god, this happened! Oh my god, this happened!" And the character development is so much fun. It gives me that feel of like a true Superman, but it also hits me with like that classic Smallville vibes a little bit too through Clark and his kids, which is really I really enjoy that. The character that they also introduced in the show, how they had him become one way and then gave us the twist, and he turned out to be somebody else, and their bond and their connection as the show developed and how it grew was very something. It was magical. And then seeing that other timeline of an alternate Superman, like this show hit you in so many different ways, and it was fantastic. The villain worked for me. The whole small town feel, like everybody was just firing on all cylinders. I had so much fun. The budget was there too, and like I'm a big time Henry Cavill Superman guy, but I feel like this here also really makes room for like you can love both Supermans. Like it's not one or the other. Like we're spoiled to have both of these guys playing Superman live action. So I had a blast with the show, and I really feel like I think Carlos mentioned it. I can't remember where it was, but not too long ago we mentioned that Lois Lane has become your favorite, and I think I'm right there now too. Like my Lois has always been the Smallville Lois, but this Lois here is like grown woman Lois who has the kids, who can also put Clark in his place and check him, and she's very believable of like handling stories on her own, that she doesn't need Superman to bail her out. Like I completely believe it with her, and it's great, man, especially knowing nothing about the prior like CW versions of these two characters. I haven't really watched like the Infinite Crisis episodes, and I haven't really watched too much of Supergirl. So just coming into the show knowing nothing about that, I feel like they did a great job of just giving you like a fresh start and be like, this is their Superman, this is their kids, and this is Lois. Run with it. And I was there for it. Like every episode I was right there first day watch, man. It's great.
Yeah, man. And you know what? I'll tag that as my number 3, because I'm sure my number 3 is the consensus number 1 anyway, so we'll gush about it all together then. But yeah, like Superman and Lois, it does something special, and it's one of those where they nail that magic as Superman, where he's that guy who you want to be your big brother or your dad or whatever, your best friend, and then Bitsy Tulloch's Lois Lane is so perfect. Like, yeah, I was ride or die with Erica Durance for a long time, but yeah, I think like Bitsy just has this agency to her and her Lois, and she's a bit more real and a bit like she's stronger and more vulnerable at the same time, if that makes any sense. But there's just something about her that is just so perfect as Lois. Like she's that Lois ripped right out of the comic book page without purple eyes. Like it's a cool show, and yeah, I'm really excited to see where season 2 goes, because it looks like the focus will be on who was one of the co leads, I guess. And Troy talked about that transition, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's still waiting, but they certainly set it up for big things to happen there. And that teaser showed some damage to that guy's costume, which would lead to honestly, the only thing I didn't see in the show was just this one little costume piece, and that the teaser suggests that it's coming sooner than later. So
yes,
I am there. I am there, and kudos to them for having the restraint.
Sometimes with these universes, it's all about restraint.
Yep.
It's just, you want to do 2-3 seasons, just you gotta wait it out. You gotta earn that a little bit, I think. I love that. And just to comment too on the low barrier for entry for it, I'm about halfway through season 1 and I jumped in feet first, and so did my wife. And it was, you don't need any prior knowledge to get this. It is part of a universe, but you just need to know that Superman's Superman and this is what he does, and he's married, now he has kids. That's the gist of the show. And then it goes from there. And it's good. It's good. It is good. All right, so I'm gonna go with a show that may or may not land in 2022. I'm certain it will kick off, but very similar to the Book of Boba Fett, we may see most of it in 2023. But that is Mandalorian season 3. The reason I'm excited for this, not only did we get sort of an epic crescendo end to the Mando Grogu or the Din Grogu arc, we got at least directionally where we think the next season is going to go, and that's going to be a little different from what we've seen over the past 2 seasons of Mando, and maybe more of the Mandalore and more with the dark saber and Din now being the ruler and just kind of embracing more of that aspect of it and stepping away from maybe the Jedi Grogu type thing for a season. That's what's got me excited for Mando, is that I love the era, I love what they've established, but let's put him somewhere different. And I think season 3 is going to do that, which I think is going to be really cool. So that's what's got me excited about that piece of Star Wars in that era. Not only do we get the Book of Boba Fett, the most of it outside of the prologue that we got last week, we get most of it here in 2022, but we're also going to get at least the start of what potentially could be a brand new arc for our Mandalorian, the guy that held up Disney Plus for 2 years and breathed new life into Star Wars.
Yeah, truly, that guy like saved that whole ship.
Yeah.
So do we get Luke Skywalker and Grogu episodes within Mandalorian season 3, or is that going to be its own separate sister show?
I feel like Ahsoka might. Yeah. That feels like where it's best suited. Because I think if you kind of rehash, like they burnt through what you can do with Grogu and Mando at this point. And that I don't know what they're going to do with that character, because he is, like we see everywhere on the shelves, he is a merchandising machine.
I know my kid is even sick of like his merch, and that says something. Trust me. Believe me and my MasterCard when I say that.
Man, my 2 kids are currently sleeping upstairs with these like Grogu blanket helmet things. We've got so much of it in our house, and I'm okay with it. But yeah, I don't know. They're not going to leave that character off screen for the better part of 2+ years. I don't think. But yeah, I agree with you, Troy. I think Ahsoka is the place for it, because I want Mando to breathe a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think with Mando too, I mean, we got the Book of Boba Fett, but I think Mando now really needs to just shed more on like the Mandalore.
Yes.
Right? I think it really needs to go there, and I'm with you. Like that show is super high on my list. It's that ending was fire, and I feel like Mandalorian each season's gotten better and better. I can't wait for this. I don't know what they're gonna do. We kind of got like that Jon Snow kind of ending where it's like the guy doesn't want the power, but he's like worthy of it. Like it's rightfully his at this rate, and I think that's gonna cause some really interesting dynamics between him and obviously Bo-Katan. I think Katie Sackhoff was fantastic in the role. She's been doing the role ever since Clone Wars, obviously, and it's great to see her return. But I can't wait to see like the rise of like Mandalore and maybe Sabine eventually pop up and really get like this epic Knights of the Old Republic, like true Mandalore. I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that, especially where it's kind of cool, right? How we have like Boba Fett, who's now like the rise of, not going into spoilers, but really he's trying to like rise to the power in like the criminal underworlds, and then here you have on the other side like Jin actually rising up to be like, the ruler of Mandalore. So you kind of got like both like Carlito's ways rise to power going on in 2 sides of Star Wars. It's kind of cool.
Well, and the cool dynamic with Jin and Bo-Katan is that they have 2 fundamentally different sets of beliefs in how Mandalorian culture should work, right? And they had their little back and forth during the first couple episodes that they crossed over with each other. So that's something else that they could play with. And then Sabine's been cast for Ahsoka, correct? So that's potentially
I think it's been rumored, but I'm not sure if it's confirmed. But yeah, it's all but, I think.
Yeah, so there's another little bit of crossover that you could maybe get, and maybe we get to see Rosario's Ahsoka in there again. They made 2 freaking Hot Toys of her, so we need to see her for more than just one episode.
Yes. Yeah, well, and I wonder too, like with all these episodes or all these shows, like with Ahsoka and with Book of Boba, and then obviously we have the Mando. Like, is it all gonna lead to, like, is Thrawn gonna be the big bad? Like, is he gonna be your Thanos of this universe? Because
I
we don't
think
really
so.
know the enemy going into Mando season 3.
No,
Right?
these
So
all,
it'll be
yeah,
interesting.
I think it will end up because they tease that crossover, right? And Rangers of the Republic was supposed to be something, but Thrawn was the big name drop in season 2 that was kind of stuck
Mm-hmm.
out there, and they've got, of course, this Ezra Sabine story to backfill as well, which Ahsoka might do most of that work, but Thrawn live action seems to be where they're building, and
Yeah.
Favreau was part of those early stages of construction of the MCU, and so he's familiar with the concept, and I wouldn't be surprised if they want to do something like that in the Star Wars universe. And this is really the only place you can do it.
Yeah.
All the other stories being told are kind of smattered throughout the timeline. And short of them kicking off a movie series, it would take a decade to actually get to that. This is the place if they want to do that style of storytelling. This is the place and the era to do it.
Yeah.
So, all right, I think we know where one is, Troy, but I'm curious as to hear what your second to last here is, and maybe it will be a surprise.
My second last was the Mando. Is
Oh,
the
was it?
Mando
Okay.
season 3? Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, man. Yeah. So I guess we're getting into it. We're getting into it. Obi-Wan Kenobi season 1 dropping this year. It has to. Well, it is dropping this year. Come on, this is the biggest mic drop Disney Plus has ever put out there. We've been wanting to see this movie since the rumored Boba Fett movie that was meant to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is so huge, and Ewan McGregor's been obviously wanting to admit that he is going to be cast as Obi-Wan, and we finally got that amazing moment. I think it was D23 maybe 2 years ago, a year ago. Um, but then we also announced that we're getting Hayden Christensen back
Yeah.
as Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader, and their blades will most likely cross again. This is going to be epic on all sorts of levels. Because in my opinion, still the best action scene of all time when it comes to any battle, it's Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Revenge of the Sith. Just the passion, the build up, the history forward, the history back. It's all right there. We're gonna revisit that again, but Vader this time. Oh, like it doesn't get any better. Like season 2 finale of Mando, amazing, absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But this show here is god tier. I'm telling you, it's gonna be amazing, amazing. I can't wait.
I love the passion behind it, man, and I couldn't agree. This is my number one. I still have one other one to throw out there, but of course, this is my number one too. With you, is we've been waiting for this, and the thing that has me excited about Star Wars and this show in particular is that I've been calling the MCU shows comic tie-ins, right? Star Wars seems to be planting its storytelling on Disney Plus, and given what we saw in The Mandalorian with Luke and everything that they were able to do there, Ahsoka, I think this is going to be an unchained Star Wars storytelling platform where they're going to let loose. And with Hayden, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, room to move and how they're going to tell the story. I don't think they're super worried about comic or novel canon and maybe walking over that a little bit, which I think is perfectly okay to tell a proper Obi-Wan story. You don't want him like weaving in and out of comic books being like, oh, can't go over here because I was here during, issue 30 of whatever. So yeah, it's going to be a hell of a time and I cannot wait to experience it. Carlos, I know this is on your list too, eh?
Yeah, no, this one. Yeah, my list is like out the window now because everything's like I've just been piggybacking on like that's the problem with Troy and I being the same person. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm super excited for this. Like, what can you say, right? And I've always been the guy beating the drum saying that you need to take the chains off with like the books and the comics with Darth Vader because he's too restrained, and you can't have the greatest villain of all time existing in stories that 98% of the audience has no idea about. So I am so happy that they brought Hayden back and just let the blinders off, right? And he's firmly Obi-Wan Kenobi, or sorry, he's firmly Darth Vader based on where we left him at the end of Revenge of the Sith. So let's just go. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Lines of dialogue from A New Hope fitting. Like, Luke kissed his sister in The Empire Strikes Back. Like, there's room to, just blind eye retcon things and do what you need to do to tell the coolest, most badass story possible, and just let her go, right? Like,
Yeah.
I fully expect like 50% of this show to be that Luke Skywalker moment. Like the things that you maybe
Yes.
thought could happen, but
Yeah.
you didn't think it was realistic that you'd be sitting on your couch experiencing
Yeah.
these images or these things playing out for the first time, right? So one of them will be the clash of the two of them again, and who knows what else we'll get. Like maybe you get a de-aged Rosario Dawson having a few
Oh.
seeds planted for
Yeah.
the Ahsoka show, right? And doing a bit of tie-in stuff there. Maybe you do some of the bits with Rebels, right? And you have those characters and have Mina Masood running away from Hayden's Darth Vader. Who knows?
Man,
Who knows?
if we, all I ask is I need one moment where Obi-Wan Kenobi is, I don't know where he's seen at the bar. It's Empire Day. I don't know, but they announce Darth Sidious. Well, I guess it would be just Palpatine's like right hand man, and Vader's gonna appear, and Obi-Wan's gonna be in utter shock, like
Yeah.
Vader lives. I gotta see his face when he realizes that his former best friend, brother, apprentice is alive, and he's now more machine than man. I gotta see that. I gotta see that. It's just gonna be something magical. Live action. Oh.
Yeah, bring it on, because I
Yeah.
love that they can play with there. He can't sense Anakin anymore. Doesn't know who Vader is, right? Doesn't have that same sort of tether connection in the Force to him anymore. And yeah, you're right. That moment is gonna be wild. Oh, I can't wait for this show. Can't wait for this show. And I just got one more to throw on the table here, which I'm super amped about, and it's freaking Peacemaker.
Yes.
Come on. We've got like a week, 2 weeks until the show debuts. James Gunn was all over Instagram today posting all of the early reviews for the show, and there are people raving about it. It's exactly, I think, what we need. Not only as a nerd community, but as a freaking population. We need something like this to take a little bit of the edge off the last couple of months, the holidays, whatever. And apparently John Cena and company bring it. I am so excited for this divergent, crazy HBO Max. Give me some F-bombs, give me some wildness, give me some crazy killing. I don't care. I want all of it right now. And it was number 2 on my list for this.
Well, yeah,
year.
you just look at that GIF that's been going around of Cena doing that dance in his tighty whities, and it's like you just know that this is unbridled James Gunn.
Yes,
and like you said, it's kind of what you need right now. It's just this tonic, and by all accounts, if you like the Suicide Squad even remotely, you will adore this show. And I adored the Suicide Squad, so yeah, I can't wait for Peacemaker. It looks hilarious, and it looks like it actually has something to say too, which is cool. And I don't know, like you look at James Gunn's approach to things, and this seems like a passion project of the highest degree for that guy. So it'll be cool.
Yeah, cannot wait. It's gonna be exciting. I'm so happy we get it so early in this year too. And I think we had mentioned a few episodes back of the fact that it's less than 6 months, or just around 6 months from when the Suicide Squad came out. We're getting a first 6 to 8 episodes of a show that's tied into that universe. That's James Gunn for you. That's James Gunn for you. He's got like 3 Guardians properties coming out next year, 2023. So that's just what he does. So speaking of which, let's shift gears to the big screen, the cinematic experience that we got to enjoy for the most part in the second half of 2020, particularly with No Way Home coming out, giving us a nice big lead into 2022 with one of the biggest movies of all time, which is crazy to say that even in this pandemic era. This thing has surpassed every expectation, even in real world. And Spider-Man No Way Home continues to plow through the box office here. But we've got some big properties, guys. I listed a lot of them at the top of the episode. Let's burn through our top 5 films of 2022. And I'm going to mix this one up a little bit. So, Carlos, why don't you take a stab here at number 5?
That's right. I am going to go first. And I'm going to give my number 1 show, which is The Sandman on Netflix.
Oh, shoot.
But
I thought you said your list was messed up. My bad.
It was all messed up, but then, yeah, you went, and then, yeah. But I had to throw some love towards Sandman. I won't get into it too much, but honestly, just Google it and look at that cast. Look at that cast. It's amazing, and if you've read the books at all and just look at the images of those actors, there's just some perfection in what they've got there, and Neil Gaiman being as excited as he is about what he's seeing Netflix put together has me all kinds of stoked. So that is that. But
my apologies, sir. My apologies.
Oh, no problem. And I'm sure we're all going to walk on each other with this list anyways again. So, but I had to throw The Sandman some love there because He's been kind of left behind with all the big flashy things that's happening this year. But you know what? Number 5, I'm gonna throw out our man Dwayne Johnson as the Man in Black, and I can't wait to see the hierarchy of power in the DC universe change when he brings Black Adam. Like, number one, like I loved what I saw from that little teaser. I love just the focus and care and attention that he's put towards this project, and you kind of see his process for everything, but this movie has felt different for a couple years, and the approach and just the focus that his production company has had with it, and the rumors of it being one of the big cogs for massive expansion within DC has me all kinds of excited. And we've got a hell of a supporting cast with Aldous Hodge's Hawkman and Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate. I think it's going to be like it. People are sleeping on Black Adam, but by all accounts, it's got he's basically put himself in a position where he knows he got to come correct. Like, you can't come out with Tech Nine and do your rap song and then face plant when your comic book movie is going to be compared to the stuff that Marvel's doing. He knows he's got to bring it. You can't sing that song. You can't sing that song and then throw up an L on the big screen.
No. I have the utmost confidence this thing's going to be a hit. This is actually on my number 4 on my list, and yeah, I'm a DJ supporter through and through, but I think this one's going to be different. It's, you know, his movies arguably all have a similar-ish flavor, and this one, given, like you said, Carlos, the words that he's used, and he's very particular about his words and what he says when he puts in social media, and that's got me real excited. The stuff we've seen in the last two DC fandoms, it's here, man. This is going to be the year Black Adam becomes a household name alongside Captain America, Iron Man, the Batman. You know what I mean? That's going to be a wild thing when the Black Adam is sitting up there with shoulder to shoulder with some of the big names.
Well, and like Troy used his name before, if you love Henry Cavill's Superman, you just watch this Black Adam franchise, because that's where that guy is popping up.
Yeah, man. Oh, I can't wait for that meetup.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. All right, Troy. Is Black Adam on your list, or what are you hitting us with first here?
I'm hitting you with Black Panther, man. Black Panther. That's what I'm going with. Part 2. It would be higher if I had more idea what is going on. Production seems like it's been a little kind of crazy, and honestly, I was taken back right off the bat when they made the pretty bold decision to not recast T'Challa. So I don't really know what's going on in that space, but I obviously love the world of Wakanda. Like, I really love that. There's so much potential there with what they can do, and I'm just curious to know where they're going. I'm excited to see like the marketing train kind of start flowing for that film, and just see what's happening then. Like, who are we gonna get back? Like, who's coming? Who's going? I don't know, but Black Panther 2 is a strong contender on my most anticipated for sure for 2022.
I'm it's an honorable mention for me on this one, and the reason it's there is for the exact reason that you pointed out, that I have no idea what's going on. And it's just so up in the air and nebulous as to how they're going to do this, and I have the utmost confidence in Ryan Coogler, but like we've discussed in previous episodes, maybe saying they're not going to do anything with T'Challa is going to be their undoing a little bit, but let's see.
To be honest, like, and everybody knows who's listened to 5 minutes of this, like, this Black Panther is tops for me in the MCU, but I don't know, like, the reason it didn't make my list is because I'm not confident it actually comes out this year.
I'm kind of with you too, man. It's a late in the year, right? It's a November film,
and
so,
they haven't finished filming, and you know, like, if they take their time with it, I think that's in everybody's best interest, and even to just get a bit of distance from the passing of Chadwick Boseman too, right? Like, you're almost at that point where it's so close that there's a tackiness to it. You know what I mean? Like, he's so indelibly linked to that character and that title of the Black Panther. And we haven't spent enough time with Wakanda to really embrace the fact that it's a lineage. Like, that was a big part of the movie, but at the same time, like, you say the Black Panther and it's that guy's face is the first thing you think of, right? So I don't know. I personally, my vote would be to push it as your big 2023 movie, but
Yeah, it's such a tough one when at that arena, right? It's got to come with a good story, given the commitments they've made, like a really good story.
Yeah.
And Coogler's the one to do it. You know, he had his ties.
He's 3 for 3, right? I mean, all of his films have hit. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's wait and see. Exciting times though for that. Another revisiting Wakanda. Yeah, can't go wrong. It's gonna be good there. My number 5 on my list is definitely falling on both your lists. I think would be this is coming in just behind Black Adam. Is The Flash.
Yeah,
it's there, man. Michael Keaton, whatever's going on in the universe, I don't care, because I think they're going to come with their own version of what all this multiverse stuff is, which has me excited. With Ezra Miller taking a bit more of a pivotal role, Sasha Calle's Supergirl, and like I said, Keaton, and what they can do here. Maybe this being the swan song for Affleck, and potentially bringing in other elements of it. I'm really excited for what this film and the groundwork it's going to do. I think Black Adam's going to firmly sit on its own for the time being, at least in this initial sort of introduction of the character, where the Flash is going to be heavily having its hands across all of the multiverses, which, you know, I don't want to compare it to No Way Home, because I think it's going to be completely different, but like the general concepts of them reaching into the past and pulling through characters, I think is going to be very beneficial for DC going forward.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like the Flash is obviously way higher on my list, but yeah, it's going to be something special. And I think the biggest point I wanted to make when we talked about this one is that it is going to be vastly different than what they did with No Way Home. Just from even just the setup from what we saw in that small teaser trailer, it's a completely different approach and a bit of a different mindset and a different story that they're going to be telling. But I'm just so excited. Like Michael Keaton on the big screen again is just, it's getting more and more unreal for me.
Yeah.
like just having seen Dope Sick and fallen in love with that guy all over again through that and the interviews that he's doing. And it's like, people are sleeping on his appeal, but it's like, you have a generation of dudes that like grew up, and he was not only like their Batman, but he was like their only superhero. Because Michael Keaton Batman was the only legit guy in that superhero space for like freaking 15 years. And you have like not only like my generation of dudes that watched him in elementary school, but then for the next 10 years, it's you guys watching Batman and Batman Returns and playing with those toys, and those toys tied into the animated series, growing up loving Batman. And then we all have kids, and my kids being early teens and your kids being younger than that, but all these families now getting dragged to the theaters because the dads and the moms are hyped on Michael Keaton Batman. Like, I think this movie is gonna be huge, and like, yeah, Ezra, I love you, but like, who cares, man? Like, it's the Batman show, and we got that. And if you're not into that Batmania, then we got the Batfleck Batmania. And I know people get out of joint about set leak pictures, but that Batfleck in that tactical suit on that money Batman White Knight bike, come on. Just, you know what, for the movie poster, just put the set leak picture of that guy on there, and people will be buying tickets. People will be buying tickets.
It's gonna look great as a McFarlane sitting behind you there, Carlos.
You know it, man. You know it. As you guys look at the rapidly expanding pile of figures that need to be opened and a home found for, but yes.
It's wicked. Where does it actually sit on your list, The Flash? Just out of curiosity.
To be honest, it's like top two, and I just like I literally have a dash in there because not only does it bring all the Batman heat, but it's gonna set the paradigm for what the DC extended, like the connected part of their universe looks like. So it obviously factors in big in that regard for me as well. Is just, and that's like the same thing with like Morbius. I was excited about that movie more so to see where that Spider-Man side of the MCU is going to be sitting than I am like, it's Michael Morbius. Like, it is what it is with him, but I was more curious about the grander connectivity, which says something, being the guy that's usually not as invested in that side of things.
It sounds like me talking here.
Yeah.
Well, Carlos, why don't you bring us your next one here?
What do I have? Oh, well, I got Thor Thor: Love and Thunder, man.
Yes.
That's the one.
Nice.
That's the one for me. I really really enjoy Jane Foster Thor in the comics. I haven't enjoyed Jane Foster in the MCU, but I feel like someone like Natalie Portman is one that can really, really take it up a notch, right? In going into this universe. So, yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I feel like Taika Waititi found his footing. Actually, both him and Chris Hemsworth found their footing in these Thor films after Ragnarok. So, I'm all there for it, man. I can't wait to see the costume designs too. I think that's gonna
Have
be
you seen
pretty
that poster
wicked.
that they've dumped out, or that was like
that
found...
official? I don't know what
think
it was.
I feel like it was like in a Disney store or something.
Or like one of those like poster, like the little poster things at Walmart, right? With
Yeah,
the
something like
Minecraft
that.
poster, the Lamborghini poster,
okay.
the cat poster, and then you get a few Marvel ones in there all the time. And
Right.
I
Yeah, that
think
makes sense.
I think it was real. Like it looked pretty official-ish to me, given, and the colors look bananas. And
Keeping that Ragnarok kind of style, that 80s kind of craziness, right?
Yeah, amped up a little bit. Yeah, Taika Waititi returning, of course. This one's number 3 on my list. Like you said, Carlos, we are walking all over each other here, but of course, Love and Thunder. It's actually my only MCU film on my top 5 list.
Nice.
Because I think there's so much potential here, and much to your point about Natalie Portman and Jane Foster, all that Jane Foster evolution stuff happened after Dark World, right? Like in the comic books, I believe. Like with All New, All Different.
Oh, like the actual, her becoming worthy. Yeah.
And so
Dark World was what, 2014?
2013. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think All New Different Jane was like 2015. I think that was her run.
Yeah. And so I think they had that redemption that we're gonna have with Natalie Portman and this character, and her giving her something a bit more to chew on as well, and not just being kind of like the big doe-eyed scientist that's chasing around Chris Hemsworth, who's speaking all like Arthurian to her and all that.
Not the What If version.
Yeah.
Well, and like for me, it's just like I loved Ragnarok so much. So to just get Taika playing in that world a bit more, and I love the aloof version of the characters that he kind of goes for. So I'm there for it, and you'll have Jane, I assume, playing kind of that straight role through everything. So that'll be perfect.
Yeah,
and the God Butcher, man.
I was just gonna say Christian Bale. Yeah, come on.
Oh,
that's right, Christian Bale.
Yeah. Man, I'm stoked for that, because it's gonna be a nice balance too that Taika Waititi's got to strike, because God Butcher's not a light story, right?
No.
And Jane Foster, like you said, she might be a bit more straight. So balancing out that is also quite exciting to see how they approach that story, but also keep the same sort of tone that they set in Ragnarok that they really carried through the back end of the Avengers films too. Thor never deviated far away from what Taika Waititi and Hemsworth really reestablished in Ragnarok. So let's go, man. Let's see. Oh, Thor: Love and Thunder. No, that's a July release. In my head, I'm always kind of stuck that it's the November slot, but that's only 6 months away, guys, until we get to see Thor: Love and Thunder. So we got a trailer coming here within the next 2 to 3 months, I would say, before we see our first footage on that one. So very exciting. Now back to you, Carlos. What else do you got for us here? Did Thor land on your list at all?
No, but just short. Just because I had a couple other ones, and for the record, my list was not all DC movies, actually, by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm gonna take us across the Spider-Verse for my number, whatever my number is right now. But like the Spider-Verse fair is real special in our house, and especially with me and my youngest daughter. Again, like I remember us seeing the preview for Into the Spider-Verse at the end of Homecoming, and my wife kind of saying like, I don't know if this is for me, and the two of us went, and like you could actively see her just fall in love with this movie. And God, I think we went to that movie like 2 or 3 times in the theater, and it like was constantly on in my house. And like Miles Morales and the Spider-Verse, in particular the Spider-Verse fair, is pretty special for her, so I just can't wait to dive into that again. And then to see Miguel O'Hara's Spider-Man 2099, like he's just got such a cool look, and Oscar Isaac playing that role, and just bringing in like some of the funkier Spider-Man, like Spider-Man India is going to be awesome. Like we definitely land in that world, and just to see where they take this thing. And I think you get a lot more latitude in that animated space, and the audience is a bit more forgiving, so they can get crazy with it, right? And yeah, once again, you know that the success and the impact that Spider-Verse had is no secret. So you know that these guys have their work cut out for them, and that they didn't rush it. They took their time, and it's probably coming out like a year later than what would normally happen, pandemic aside, right? And I'm pretty excited to see what they're bringing with Across the Spider-Verse. So yeah, I cannot wait. Cannot wait.
Yeah. I'm there with you. I had it at my number 2. Absolutely love this film. The minute I saw the like the cell shaded kind of look going on, like the animation, I was sold. The music, it's Miles Morales. Took my daughter to see that one. That's the first Spider-Man movie she's seen ever, next to No Way Home. And this one was a blast. I think I saw it twice in theaters, and I absolutely love that film. And to see where we're going now is actually really cool, because at least going off the trailer, we haven't seen any Peter Parker Spider-Man. And I mean, Peter Parker's my guy. That's Spider-Man to me, 100%. That's the dude. But to see like this universe is like, no, this is Miles, and now he has other Spider-Man around him. Like, I feel like he's the main Spider-Man in this world. Whereas when we saw him in the first movie, we were introduced to first like the blonde-haired like Chris Pine Spider-Man, and then we got the Miles, and then we got the the Peter B. But I feel like now it's like Miles is in a place where it's like he's become his own completely, and we happen to have Gwen there, we happen to have McGill O'Hara, and we're gonna get a couple other Spider-Man as well. So I'm completely there for it, man. I applaud them, and if they can hold out with like no Peter Parker, I think that's pretty bold. We'll see how far they go with that. But either way, like the animation looks fresh. I'm sure the music is gonna be just as good. And again, I just gotta applaud Sony really for Miles came out 2012, man. Like Miles isn't that old. Neither is Kamala Khan. And just for the fact that we're getting like properties and films, live action and movies and video games on these two characters so soon is like mind blowing. Like we don't have like a Terry McGinnis. We had that old 64 game. It's not very good, but we haven't had like a movie or anything about that character. And he's been around for a while, but here we are already from 2012. And I think 2015 was Kamala, and boom, they're already here hitting us hard. Like this is amazing, and I think it's the same talent. I think it's Phil Lord and Chris Miller, right?
Yeah, and the same director doing it too. So.
The same director, right? So I love their take, and Miles is so great in this movie, at least in the original one. Like I love that he's in and out speaking Spanish, Afro Latino, like he's represented, and I love it because like in the video games he's doing it. In the comics, he's in and out of it, and I just love that they captured that, and the music in the background. Like, it's all authentic to the character that I've been introduced to since Brian Michael Bendis, man. It's like since he's been doing that character. So I can't wait for this film. It's gonna be a huge hit, man. It's gonna be huge.
Yeah, people can't wait to adopt the Bendis characters, because even like Naomi, she only came out like last year, 2 years ago. Yeah, she's already got a TV show.
Yeah, man. And then Jessica Jones not too long ago, right? Like it's basically like, based off of his run.
Yeah.
So, the Bendis vibes, man.
Yeah, man, he's got Secret Invasion.
That's
like his era. I don't think he directly did that, but that's like he built into all of that stuff, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. That whole Avengers era that they're adapting everything in that space. So, pretty well. This is one that's kind of snuck under the radar for me, to be honest with you. It kind of popped up there with that trailer a few weeks ago, and I'm just looking at the release date and the schedule, and it sat on its own in October. Like this thing's gonna do, I think, quite well. In that, and it's the fact it's a part 1 too. That's another thing that's got me excited for it, is that this is a continuing story, and they're acknowledging that it's going to have a cliffhanger ending, and boom, part 2 I would guess was going to come out in 23. I'm assuming they've done it all at once, and they've just cut the movie where it makes the most sense to lead into the next part. So you're going to get back to back. You might even get early 23 where these aren't too far apart.
That'd be cool.
Well, and it'll be cool. Like, I'll give them huge props if they cap it at 3 movies. Like, if that's like, I don't know how much you can spread that Spider-Verse concept. Like, I think there's lots of things that you can do, but to make it as special as what you had with Into the Spider-Verse, I think it's a pretty finite thing, right? And
you likely spin out and do like your Spider-Gwen, maybe. I have like a solo film and explore some of the other Spider-Man. Or maybe have a Miles solo outing, right, where it's less Spider-Verse focused. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
plus you gotta leave some room for the live action.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do, man. It's coming at some point. God, why isn't it here yet? I don't know. maybe they do have a little restraint. It's like, let's play out this Spider-Verse stuff, and then we'll get Miles on screen after that.
Man,
Yeah.
Avi's got plans. Avi's got
Big
plans.
Avi, man.
He's got a vision. He's got a 10-year vision for the Sonyverse.
We'll got him. He can only wear one toque at a time. So
That's true. All right. Well, I'm gonna throw another one out here, and this, of course, for me is going to be a special year. It's the return to the world, to the park. It's Jurassic World Dominion. And that's sat very high on my list. Number 2, actually. We've got the return of the big 3. We got Ellie Sattler, Alan Grant, and Jeff Goldblum's Ian Malcolm coming back to the franchise. I think we're for the first time in all 6 films, we're going to be paving new way, forging new ground for this franchise. It's got the dinosaurs out. We got that prologue released. There's rumors of a time jump. I'm stoked for what they can do here, combining these franchises and having this 6th outing being the true big end potentially to this long-running story that's been going on since 1993 and has captured my imagination ever since. Jurassic World Dominion. What more can I say? I can't wait. June cannot come soon enough.
yeah, man, this one was my number 3 with the Flash and another movie sitting at the top 2. But yeah, Jurassic World. Like, I am so hyped. I have put more hours into Jurassic World Evolution 2 than a lot of you listeners out there who claim to be working from home have put into your real jobs. I'm gonna float that out there. Oh yeah, man, I am so stoked. And then we're starting to see those Entertainment Weekly stills.
Yes.
Just the one with like Chris Pratt and the Parasaurolophus, and then in the snow. Like that's the thing that's getting me is like not even like, and I love this prologue with the Cretaceous period flashback and stuff, but the first prologue, the Battle of Big Rock,
Yes.
or that one, and just like the camping setting and just the little nuances, like the news reports talking about like being mindful and them talking about the same way they do about bears in Kananaskis country here and what to do to best protect your campsite and enjoy your trip, like having the dinosaur precautions in place, and then things go south there and you see the threat that the animals cause. But then they show those little flashes to just different parts of the world, and like the Stegosaurus is crossing the highways in the mountains and causing havoc, and the Pteranodons interrupting people's weddings, and it's so freaking cool. And yeah, I don't care that we sacrificed Fallen Kingdom. Like
we
Fallen
did.
Kingdom died so that Jurassic World Domination could live. And Dominion. So this thing is gonna be amazing.
It's gonna dominate.
Yeah.
Man, it's that, I think, finally embracing the title of Jurassic World, if you know what I mean. I think there's something a bit more meta there about this whole thing, and the fact that I've got like, a man that's ran a real Jurassic World and a Jurassic Park for many months now, that we're gonna get to enjoy this with. I'm just stoked about it, man.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. And like Trevorrow, that's another guy, right? Like he took that hit with episode
Yes.
9, and so you know that he brought it
Yeah.
for this movie, because there is no way that he's gonna let this thing be anything short of spectacular.
No.
Because they said, yeah, we doubt you and we don't think you can do it, and I am sure. That guy, he seems like the kind of guy that'll hold a grudge and just
Look, he's got Spielberg's backing. Like, Spielberg didn't take him out when he got removed from Star Wars, right? They gave him the franchise back, which tells you something. And he's the first guy that doesn't have to deal with fences really in this franchise. That it's completely different storytelling, which is exciting. Very, very exciting. So
when that Universal gave him millions of dollars to film that prologue,
Yeah.
to just stick on the beginning of Fast 9, that says something.
and
That
the Battle of
says
Big
something.
Rock thing too, right? Like,
Yeah, that wasn't cheap either.
no. So there's one film that's sitting out there right now. But Troy, I think you know what film I'm referring to. Is there anything else on your list here? I have no idea where we're at with anyone's list.
I got my number 2, but we talked about it. But I'm not going to talk about. I got my number 1, but we talked about it. I got my number 2, but I can't talk about number 2 because I gotta let the goddamn Batman in the room talk about number 2. But so I'll just jump to my number 1 real quick. My number 1 is it's the Flash. It's the Flash. It's the Flash, but it's not the Flash. It's Ben Affleck and it's Michael Keaton. Like, that's what it's all about. Because I'm telling you,
you
man,
are the same human, the two of you. I don't care
I've
about
been-
Flash.
I've been needing Affleck back in the suit, in the cowl, in the gym, and it's there. And I love Keaton. I've been reading Batman '89. I think I just finished number 4. I absolutely love his Batman. I don't know what else I can really talk about when it comes to it. You guys already laid down the groundwork, but I'm just so excited for this film. I think the whole multiverse thing could be pretty cool, and we've already seen that we have like 2 variants of Ezra, obviously going off of DC fandom, so that's all there. We got Supergirl in there who looks absolutely amazing, and like I can't wait for this film. It's highly up there for me, and it's cool, man, because with what we got in like. I don't really know if I can go where I'm gonna go, so I'm just gonna say I'm really excited for like the multiverse in this film and just see how they play with it. I think DC's been killing it with the multiverse, probably better than Marvel, except when it comes to the Spider-Verse. So they've been holding it down for forever. So to see it in this film, see it live action, see the Flash, sure, but see Affleck and he's gonna have a conversation with Keaton's Batman, like. Because those are the best Batmans. They're just it's just simply that those are the best Batmans of all time, and these two are gonna have a conversation, and it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be nuts. I can't wait for this film, man.
I know, man. Like Michael Keaton said, you want to go nuts? Let's get nuts.
Let's
Yes.
nuts. Well, let's do it. So it's 2 number 1s and a number 2 across the board here. This next film.
Yeah.
Carlos, goddamn Batman. Take it away.
I almost gotta let you take it, man, because I love your hype. Gives me the love, but yeah, you know what? I am gonna let you take it.
You're too kind. Passing the baton along here. Look, this movie we're talking about is, of course, The Batman. It comes out start of March 3rd. And I don't think I've been this excited for a DC film for sure, but this is like far and beyond my most anticipated film for the entire year. There's something so special about these trailers, about the construction of the narrative, about Robert Pattinson, the villains, every piece of this. Catwoman, come on, Selena, like it's all there. The cinematography, we love to talk about. The score is epic. Every piece that we've seen. But the most important thing, and the thing I love so much about the promo work they're doing for this film, is I've seen all the trailers, the most recent trailer. I couldn't stay away from it, but I still feel like I don't know what's happening at all. I just know that there's going to be a kick-ass new Batman, some awesome villains, some pretty epic scenes, but I don't know what's going on. I don't have a good feel for Bruce Wayne yet, but I know it's going to be awesome. I don't have a great feel as to where Batman's at, but I know it's going to be amazing. So that's what excites me, is that everything that's been put in front of me, I'm like, hell yeah! But I'm still intrigued enough that I don't know anything about the story. That's what's cool. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it. Like, you saw Shang-Chi or Eternals or whatever. You kind of got the gist of the film, right? From the trailers. Like most trailers kind of give you roughly what this one, I don't know. I do not know what's going on. All I know is that I'm like vibrating thinking about the potential of seeing this in just a few months.
Oh man, beautifully said. And I gotta admit, like I was Matt Reeves getting the director's chair and getting the creative control. I was there for that, and I was a believer in what that guy could bring. But then I just had all my doubts. Like I'm hearing about the early days Batman stories. Like, oh, okay, well that's kind of the Nolan did it so well. Can you do that? Have my doubts. Get the Pattinson casting, and I was like, yeah, I appreciate the guy's talent. I've seen a bunch of his indie movies, but I don't know if he has the right look that I want for him. Just please don't have blonde hair. I'll be able to stomach it. And then we get like the first look at the suit, and I had my doubts. And then, man, these trailers came out. I've held strong, Troy. I didn't sell you out. I didn't watch the new one and not tell you. The two of us, we have a
We made a
we have
bond.
a pact that we're not watching it. And my wife watched it, and she's like, it's not spoilery, but there's a ton of new footage. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try and stay strong. But like those first 2 trailers, like the 2 fandom spots, essentially, like just the tone and the look and just the vibe you get from this. Like there's just something about it that just sucks my entire being into these trailers. And it's like, I put out a tweet like not that long ago, but like it was God's honest truth. Like, I literally, that second Fandom trailer, I grocery shopped for like 90 minutes with that trailer on loop in my pocket, just listening to the audio from it, because like I am so there for this movie. Like, uh, and it's all things that aren't my favorite versions of the character. Like that 70s Batmobile isn't my favorite version of the Batmobile, and like the suit isn't necessarily my favorite, but it all just works, and I just love it all so much. And it's like just everything about it. It feels like it's so purposeful and put together very meticulously and with a ton of care, and that they've really cobbled together something special and something that we've never seen before. And I truly believe that the Batman is, like, despite all the superhero movies that we've had and that we're gonna be seeing, that it's not gonna be Joker, because I think it is gonna be a 4-quadrant type of movie, but it's going to be something on a completely different level that we haven't quite experienced yet. I think Pattinson knows, like, this is a guy that was in the trenches with that Twilight franchise, and he knows the perils of like a toxic, ugly fan base, and he knows what being that type of franchise character is. So like, that this guy decided to like literally put on the mask and jump right back into that tells you something about the vision for the movie and where they're taking it. And like, man, I've got the pre-order receipt for the McFarlane figures upstairs to prove my I'm putting my money where my mouth is with,
Literally.
with the Batman.
Troy, man, you got to be hyped about
Yeah.
this. This is your number 2. It's like
Yeah.
Carlos said, it's bringing something different to the table, which is crazy to think about that, considering how many different iterations of Batman we've had over the years.
Well, that's just it for me. I mean, the trailers for this film, and I'm coming off of the DC Fandom one. That trailer to me hits so hard, and I still always go back to that scene when the Penguin thinks he gets away and he sees the T-1000 just slowly walking at him, man, out of the fire. That look, that imagery, that vampire-esque like feel of Batman is captured so well. Like, watching these trailers is the first time I've ever actually felt like one of Batman's thugs villains for the first time, witnessing the Batman, where you're like, what am I looking at? You know what I mean? Like, when I read the comics normally, like, okay, well, it's Bruce Wayne in the suit, but I'm watching this trailer, I'm like, this is like a demon of some sort. Like, this can't be a human being in that cowl.
Yes.
And I really appreciate the cinematography and the idea and the vision of what they're, conveying to us as an audience. So I'm right there with it. The score, like you mentioned, Tim, the cinematography, the overall tone, the look, it's all there, and I'm completely there for it. Matt Reeves is another one. Like, when I go back to the early days when it was meant to be, I think as Affleck, he was writing, directing, and starring, which is a lot to do. And then it was just meant to be Affleck and Matt Reeves doing the Batman film. And I was like, oh my God, because I'm coming off of Matt Reeves' pretty much his trilogy of Planet of the Apes. I know he didn't do the first one, but the 2. And I was like, this guy's great. And to now see what they're kind of doing and their idea of like the Batman, and when Bruce himself and I saw Tenet, and we saw homeboy Pattinson come out in the suit looking GQ, we had that moment like, okay, this is Bruce.
Yes.
And I've been sold ever since on this actor to play Batman, and even grow into like that Bruce Wayne who's kind of like, I'm pretending to be the playboy Bruce Wayne, but deep down I'm actually Batman, and I'm just showing you somebody else. So I can't wait to actually get there too. But for right now, I'm loving absolutely everything we're seeing. Obviously, Colin Farrell as well as the Penguin looks just bananas. Yeah, and then we got the Catwoman too, finally, because it's been so long since Michelle Pfeiffer. Well, I forgot about Anne Hathaway's Catwoman.
She had those glasses that went up that made it look
How
like
could
she
I
had
forget
ears.
about that one? Yeah, it's cool to be like return to form Catwoman, I will say. So I'm there, man. I'm absolutely excited for this universe, and just to see like where they're going, and if they're keeping it small. I like that they're keeping it separated from all the other universes. I don't know if it's tied to Joker. I don't know, but all I know is I'm in day one to see the Batman.
The Batman. There it is.
Yes.
There it is, man.
Yeah.
There's a list of films. There are a lot of more overlap with the films, but I think that just goes to show that there's almost two tiers to all this, and DC is really bringing it. Look, guys, I had 3 DC films in my top 5 most anticipated films. Another was Jurassic, and then I had 1 MCU. So it shows, to at least to me, my perception is this whole changing of DC and this being a super pillar year for them, an important year for them, is really there. And I can't wait, man. It's the year of the bat, but I'd almost say it's the year of DC, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And when you step back and look at all this, what they're doing.
Yeah, it's hilarious that the forgotten film is the sequel to their $1 billion Aquaman movie. That's the one that everybody's like, yeah, whatever. We'll see that one. But the Batman.
Yeah. Well, even like another film that was completely left off these lists was The Multiverse of Madness, right? It's again a sequel to their latest $1 billion film, or quote unquote their sequel, right? And so it goes to show you the depth of film here. But I think the common thing, at least I can see in a lot of our picks here, it's film franchises that we know, that we love, that are doing different things. That's relatively common, I think, through all these. Even if you go into the Jurassic and all that, like it's something we're familiar with, but they're doing something completely different with it. And I think that's what's intrigued and has a lot of hype behind a lot of these movies for us. Is even Love and Thunder, right? It's again another Divergent property that we're familiar with. So it's all about doing something a little different here. And guys, we've got a few minutes here to actually just knock out the last piece that we always like to do for 2022. We've gotten through TV and film here. There's of course a lot of collecting and a lot of comic books that are going to happen, but we also have our nerdier resolutions, and this is kind of fitting into our week in nerd space a little bit here. And it's something that it's just fun to do at the end of the year, and we encourage you guys to do the same thing. Is what are you going to do in Nerd in 2022 outside of the TV and films that we've just discussed, of course? And this is very similar to all of those goals that everyone tries to make at the start of the year that we inevitably run aground on here within a couple of weeks once we make a commitment to stay focused, right, Troy, on our collecting. and then we run aground, or I make some silly commitment about I'm gonna read so much this year, and I get to the end of the year and I've not read a single book. So we all fall, but we get back up, dust ourselves off here, and we plow forward into 2022 here. So let's rattle some of these off. Let's so in the interest of time here, let's give 2 each to start, and then we'll do 1 round table on our last one. No particular order here, but Carlos, why don't you kick us off on this one as well, with 2 of your 3 nerdier resolutions, and then we can kind of talk about them a little bit.
2 of my 3. Well, I'm not even gonna front with like the things that I plan on acquiring because it's Batmania 2022. So
McFarlane's.
Yeah, we know that is coming fast and furious, and like there's a minimum 3 Batman Hot Toys. Probably closer to 6 once we see the other costumes and armors and everything else, right? And fingers crossed that they'd give us a re-release of the 89 and Returns costumes. But so yeah, I can't even front with that. So that's not even a resolution. That is just a statement of fact and a warning to my wife.
It's a fixed point in time, as we refer to it in the multiverse standards.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens no matter what multiverse we're in. It's Batman.
No matter what happens. Like, I am Stephen Strange in that What If episode, and that money is getting spent no matter what you do to try and rewind time. So, sorry, dear. But to be honest, like my resolution is a small one, and hopefully, fingers crossed, inexpensive, but inspired by Tim. And watching you with like the Ghostbusters and the JP stuff, and just this joy that you've got from reconnecting with these childhood moments with some of these things, and we had the benefit in our DM of like the picture of you when you were a little kid with some of the things, and then seeing you get like the 2021 versions of those. And for me, I was kind of in a unique circumstance where I still had a lot of that stuff, or my mom's basement does. But for me, it's going to be getting a few little pieces of the retro Michael Jackson gear that I had when I was a kid. So like there's a few small things that I remember that were just always around, that I always had in my room. So I'd like to get like a few packs of like the bubblegum cards that I had from back then, a couple of the magazines maybe that I had from back then, or like the fold up posters. I want to get a pair of like the fold up glasses. I rock those things. Yeah. for a good decade of my life, even when
Oh.
it was not fashionable at all to do so. But yeah, like a few of those little MJ drips and drabs, maybe not the MJ hair gel that I used to use all the time because I don't really have a use for that anymore. But yeah, and that's inspired by you, Timbo, because like that's that nostalgia piece for me,
Oh,
man. Like
that's
that
cool.
Thriller, Bad Era stuff, like
That's so cool.
yeah, all day long. And yeah, just over the break here, I've been deep diving like the victory and triumph and tour videos and the bad ones. And yeah, that's one of my nerd G resolutions. And then my second one, really quick, is gonna be to acquire a Black Series Captain Rex for my daughter.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
She's
Nice.
put together a super cool little Clone Wars display, and like just the pride and love that she has in this thing. But like her top two characters in all of Star Wars are Ahsoka Tano and Captain Rex, like her
Nice.
dude. And yeah, she doesn't have a Black Series Captain Rex, so that's a resolution and appeal to all the listeners out there that if that Bad Batch Captain Rex crosses your sight on a Walmart peg, please drop me a DM. But yeah, I got to get her a Rex before the year is out. So
Wicked.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. That retro stuff, man. I'm gonna piggyback off that one because that is, of course, part of one of my resolutions here. It's the nostalgia. It's real, and I love that you're going back into that and just doing little pieces from your childhood that inspire and bring that smile across your face. And it would be a fun little collection for you to pad out here, because I'm doing that even more so. As I spoke last year, one of my resolutions was to embrace it a little more, and now it's time to actually refine it to the point where it becomes the main focus of my collecting.
Woo.
I'm shifting gears here. I'm gonna reduce my modern and increase my retro. In the sense, I'm dumping a couple lines. The Amber Collection JP is out. Funkos are out. All retro remakes are out. So all that modern stuff is out for me, and it's gonna be backfilled by Ghostbusters, Star Wars, the TMNT and JP stuff that I've been talking about for the last 2 years. But I'm really shifting focus, even in the nerd room, to that being the prominent focal points of my space, because of how much joy it's brought me, similar to what you were talking about there, Carlos. And the nostalgia is real. And of course, I'm going to still have the modern stuff, the Legends and the Black Series only OT now, and the NECA stuff, which again is kind of like a retro sort of a piece in itself. But yeah, it's shifting that for the first time to being the primary focus of the hunt. Less about Walmart and that, and more about digging through Marty's bins up at all flea markets, hopefully again maybe, and some online stuff. But yeah, shifting focus there. And then even with the nerd room for my second one is I want to improve the display aspects of the nerd room. We're always so focused on adding collection pieces. I was inspired a bit. We were looking at some of Troy's pictures the other night, one of those X-Men videos that you did, and I noticed your detolfs and how they're up. And I've been going through a lot of Instagram posts on people's collections and that, and noticed the effectiveness of lighting. And I want to do that in the nerd room too, is spend more time accentuating my collection via lighting and being a bit more specific about what is out. I've gone through a period of reduction and I'm selling stuff to bring a level of refinement, but I think the next step is adding, like I said, lighting and some backdrops to the detolf, and more focused kind of, those baseball bat Michaels things with action figures and proper lighting, these type of things to build a level of refinement to the display aspect, to appreciate more of what I've got here. So those are my two. So yeah, retro become the number one, and display aspects of it is
so
where I'm at.
Wicked, man.
Wicked.
So yeah, it's gonna be an exciting year. Troy, man, lay your first two on us here, and then we'll do one round out for the last one.
Okay, so for my first one, going back to the Black Series, man, I'm walking away kind of hard on this line. I'm strictly keeping it prequel only. And the only way I dip out of that is a prequel character that So basically, for instance, I can get my hands on an Ahsoka character because she was introduced in the prequels. So that's kind of like the caveat right there. But anything else, like I won't be touching the Book of Boba. Actually, I guess Boba works because he was introduced in the prequels too, so I guess that works.
Has to be
but like
child
any
Boba.
kind of new character, right?
It dead.
So, what's that?
He dead. Get him.
yeah,
Get him.
yeah, pretty much. But I'm really just tightening my grip on the prequel stuff and finishing out like a collection of like Grievous. I never did get my hands on Grievous. I never got my hands on like the Darth Plagueis that was re-released. He's kind of in a deluxe set. Like I would like to grab him, but I guess that kind of works because he's a prequel character. But somebody that's like outside of that, like a Han, isn't necessarily a prequel character, so I don't touch that. The OT stuff, I'm done with. I got to Return of the Jedi's and the Empires and the New Hope 1,000 times over. So I'm really just tightening my focus, my scope on the prequel stuff because I just feel like Black Series stuff, it's dope. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But for me, I've always been like a prequel guy, and there's so many different avenues that you can go.
Much.
There's so much, and the price points have gone kind of bonkers. I'm kind of like, whoa, like, yeah. So yeah, just tightening my grip on the Black Series, and my comic list. I want to tone it down a bit, man, because I find I go to my pull list, I pick up, I spend quite a bit of money on my comics, and then I'm like, whoa, like, what's going on? I'm kind of lost track in like all the stories. I like focusing on like the Batman 89 stuff has been great. Amazing Spider-Man Beyond is awesome right now, but I've kind of fallen out of the Thor stuff a little bit. I've fallen out of the Avengers a little bit. So I just want to tighten my focus on more stories that I actually like and less of like keeping up with like what's going on in the world of like the 616 MCU, the 616 comic books, right, of the Marvel stuff. And yeah, to scale it back, man, I got hit pretty hard with a lot of like the Hickman run of the X-Men, and obviously I was keeping up with all the Future State stuff, which is a blast. But I'm like, whoa, I gotta tone it down out. It's just too much story to keep up with. So tone it down, scaling back a little bit.
I like it. That Black Series stuff, I think we can universally agree that we've all been forced into narrowing the era that we like. Like I'm going OT, you're going prequel. Carlos, you guys are kind of that Mando space, like that era. And you because it's too expensive to be a completist in it anymore. And unfortunately they've priced out most of the collectors. Almost everyone I know is either out completely or they've gone down to very narrow specific focus. Like I even was thinking about doing Mando and OT, and I was like, I can't do both. There's too much Mando stuff coming out now.
Yeah.
So,
like my kid, she's like decided that it's basically the Ahsoka lineage kind of thing, right?
Yes.
So anybody who's
it.
connected to her,
Yeah.
and then anybody who's connected to Grogu.
Yeah.
Dope.
And so it's like she'll get whatever, like she'll get the Ahsoka from Mandalorian when it inevitably comes out because she spent time with Grogu, but she won't get like Grief Karga or I can't remember what the bad guy's name is in that show.
Moff Gideon.
Gideon or any of those type of characters. But like she's ride or die with IG-11 because he was the nanny for a bit, right? So it's funny, but it's a cool way of doing it. That and then the bloody clone troopers, like God.
Yeah, man.
They can see him behind Troy there
with clone troopers.
Oh man, those are good ones. Yeah, refinement of that comic list. As soon as you're talking a lot about that, and all I can think of is like trades.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I like that. Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind when you're saying that about stories and trying to keep up, right? And like the problem is there's so much to do right now, right? Between TV and film and collecting and like it's just all over the place. Like we're just like inundated with stuff, and something always takes a hit.
And I think this is the first year I stayed away from the events. Like so many events in the Marvel universe, I just stayed away from. Like I can't commit to it. Like they did that one weird one, right? Was it where the heroes kind of were like all reversed? I think Blade was the only one that knew what was going on in like the mainline universe, but Peter Parker was like not Spider-Man, and Tony Stark never became Iron Man. They did this huge like flip up, and I read one issue, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really need to do this one.
So
yeah. And I almost find I enjoy a lot of that stuff more in the trade format.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And it's so much cheaper. Like the trades is one thing, but like when Hawkeye hit, I bought my kid. Like she had the first, however many of the Fraction Aja run of the Clint books, and she had all the Kate Bishop stuff. But I cleaned that up, and it was $1.89 a trade on
Wow.
Comixology. And
Oh.
and then she's like, well, I like reading them better on my iPad anyway. So I was like, well, that works out. So instead of paying like the $23 a trade, I was paying $1.89. And I was just like, you know what? You don't even want the rest of them. But I bought her all the Hawkeye books because they were just like, it was less than my issue of Detective Comics for the week. So,
Wild. Yeah, look out for those sales in Comixology because
Yeah.
especially when there's films of those characters coming out, they usually do a big sale.
Yeah.
And then to get you onto the app and all that. So, all right, well, we each got one left here. Carlos, why don't you kick this one off as to your final Nerd Year resolution for this year?
Well, yeah, and this is one I've kind of kicked around for a bit, and we had the great drama with the first installation, but I got to continue on my my shelving that Timbo inspired there, and it's interesting because you talked about the display space and how you display things to enhance the collection, and I've actually got my biggest, most expensive pieces on a wall, but the shelving isn't as nice as the stuff that I recently installed, and I actually find that it loses its presence compared to lesser things that I have on just nicer shelving. So yeah, I gotta go with the upgrade there. I'm gonna do it solo this time.
I could probably help you out a little bit.
Yeah, I'd rather you, father-in-law. I love that guy, but yo, homie, you're not coming back down.
There's some expensive stuff on that wall too that you're
Yeah.
gonna be moving
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, so I think that'll be like that's definitely one of the key projects, and now that lumber is not as insane as it was before, I'll probably be able to do it for that, and I don't have my father-in-law's over the top design requirements, so it'll probably cost me about a third
Yes.
of what the original ones cost me, despite being the same size. So
if not bigger.
yeah. So that's definitely the plan for this year, is to do that once it warms up here and I can actually apply lacquer in my garage.
Yes. Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that. You and I had talked about that not too long ago, and I agree with you. I think it'll give just a refinement to that, because that area, you're right, man, there's some pretty badass stuff, but your eyes drawn directly to those newer shelving units that you have. Like that's right where your eye goes when you come downstairs. So very, very cool. My last one here for this year it's a simple one. Is I want to leverage the relaxation that I get from Lego and do more of it. It's an expensive hobby, but I love what they're doing with more of the display pieces in Lego. I got the Infinity Gauntlet for the holidays, and they had the Iron Man helmet, and I just did the Probe Droid where they come with the plaques, and so they become actual display pieces, and they look really nice on shelves. And I find I get this unequaled relaxation from doing Lego, just sitting, popping a movie on, DC, Marvel, Star Wars, whatever, and just doing my Lego in the background there. And I've got my eye on even some of the Batman stuff. I know it's out there, but I've got a nice little spot carved out right beside my big TV, which I've got a little Batman shrine, and I think it needs a Lego piece in it. I want like a new The Batman helmet thing. I like those.
Oh, okay.
I
That'll
think
be
they're
sweet.
really cool. That's something I want because it's like a bust, right? But in Lego fashion. And so I want to combine not only the ability to shed some of the weight, but also it gets an awesome display piece for the room that you can kind of build stuff around. So yeah, Lego and leveraging that a bit more is top of my list right now.
Very cool. The Technics Batmobile. That's the hot tip from what I understand, is that's the Batman set.
The one to get. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I got to get something to commemorate that, and Lego and a McFarlane too, I think. And I've also got those at the 3 McFarlanes coming in with the 3 Jokers too. It's going to be, so my Batman space is going to get a little crowded, but I'm okay with that. So Troy, last one for this year. We're going to be revisiting all of these in just shy of 52 weeks time. But what's the last one you're going to put in front of us for 2022?
Kind of similar to Carlos, I'm doing a complete, utter reboot of my whole nerd setup. It's all going down. The nerd room's completely coming down. I'm taking out the shelves. I'm breaking them down. I'm throwing them out. I'm changing everything. I'm changing it all, man. I'm changing it all. So I'm gonna take some pictures, and then yeah, man, in later on the new year, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be upgraded. Yeah,
Nice.
like Tony and was it Tony Stark and Captain America in Jonathan Hickman's run? He said, I got a vision over the Avengers. I want them to go bigger. Gotta go bigger, and that's what I've kind of taken to heart here, and I wanna level it up. I'm gonna level it up, man. So it's gonna change up the whole nerd space. For sure.
Cannot wait to see that, man. Yeah. Oh man, there it is. There's 2022 in front of us, guys. I think the common theme there is it's really focused on our rooms, accentuating the current collections we have, while adding some important pieces to it. Seems to be a relatively common thread here in 2022 for us. So I think that's manageable. That's all things I think we can accomplish here. And on the other side of it, you guys are going to get a good look and insight as to the results of that, because it's going to be mostly visual. So I love that, guys. I love it. And 2022 is going to be an exciting year. I'm more amped than I was about an hour and a half ago about all of these films, TV shows, and what we're going to be doing in this nerd space for this year. And that's not like, there's things that we missed, of course, guys. There's movies we didn't talk about, shows we didn't talk about, but embrace it all. You know, I think that's got to be one of the mantras for the Nerd Room this year is just embrace it all, because we've got so much cool, new, different stuff coming at us, and it's time to open up your mind. Watch Miss Marvel, experience the Batman, get ready for the Flash. There's so much happening, and
Peacemaker in a week.
Yeah, come on! It's like one of my most anticipated shows. I can't wait. So it's all there. If there's something you love about nerd, I'm almost certain you're going to find it in something this year. Whether that's film, TV, comics, collecting, whatever. It's there for you. And we're here as well, guys. We're going to be sharing, experiencing all the way through 2022. We got some fun stuff coming up here. You know, usually in this episode, we do something, our box office fantasy draft. And we've got something very special cooking up here that we just got to hammer out a little bit more of the details. But it is coming, and you guys will get to experience that with us this year. That's where we'll leave you with that. And so we're not doing it this year because we're more confident than ever that we're actually going to see films again in their attended slots, save Morbius, of course, but that's coming. So keep your ear to the ground for that. And if you'd like to tell us what you're doing in 2022, you can always email us at thenerdroom@gmail.com. You can find everything that we do over at thenerdroom.net. The hunt is real, and we're going to get back on it on Instagram. It's been a bit quiet over there over the holiday season, but as things start to potentially open up, or as we start to get that new and old stuff coming back into our rooms, or as we update, we'll be sure to keep you guys posted on Instagram, YouTube. Ian's going to be back at it this week with a new video up there, and I'm going to be joining him and continuing my brief history of Marvel Legends, MCU Marvel Legends, I should say, over on YouTube as the content continues to roll out weekly over there. So go give that channel a subscribe and give some thumbs up, put some comments in there, because that helps every little bit with that. And Twitter, guys, this is where we're going to be at for most of 2022. Our handles, of course, are at the end of the episode, so you can always catch us there or use the hashtag #WeTheNerd. So with all that being said, in 2022 now laid out in front of us, we got to say goodbye just for this week. We're going to be back with your regular scheduled programming next week with This Week in Nerd, Our Week in Nerd, and all of the little pieces that we haven't touched on in the last couple of weeks. So until then, for the Nerd Room, I'm Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm all the Batman.
And thank you guys so much for entering the Nerd Room. This has been a Nerd Room podcast production. You can find our hosts Tim, Troy, Sanjay, and Carlos on Twitter at TheNerdRM, TroyTheBoy87, Sunjabi, and CDN Caped Crusade R. For more content from the Nerd Room, check out thenerdroom.net. And don't forget to subscribe to the Nerd Room on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, wherever you plug in. Use the hashtag #WeTheNerd to keep up with the latest from the Nerd Room on Instagram and Twitter.